Israel and Germany have formally signed a landmark bilateral security pact on December 11th, explicitly citing the growing existential threat posed by Iran and its sprawling network of heavily armed regional proxy militias as the primary catalyst necessitating this deepened defense partnership. Both nations have committed to dramatically expanding their comprehensive defense cooperation initiatives specifically focused around cutting-edge counter-terrorism operations and sophisticated multi-layered cyber defense architectures protecting critical national infrastructure. Benjamin Netanyahu's office said, and I quote, "Iran and its proxies, Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Houthis, threaten not only Israel but also regional stability and international security. Israel's enemies should know, our eyes are on them at all times and everywhere." Unquote. This historic joint declaration was personally signed by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu alongside Germany's visiting Interior Minister Alexander Dobrindt during high-level talks underscoring Berlin's steadfast commitment to Israel's qualitative military edge throughout the Middle East. Just last month in a major procurement decision, the German government approved a massive $3.1 billion contract expansion for Israel's revolutionary Arrow 3 exo-atmospheric ballistic missile defense interceptor system designed to neutralize incoming Iranian long-range threats. This Arrow 3 deal represents Israel's largest ever military export contract in its history, originally inked back in 2023 but now ballooned to approximately $6.5 billion total value through Germany's latest tranche of critical funding for European missile shield integration. Earlier on that same pivotal December 11th, Israel's foreign minister urgently called upon the European Union to immediately designate Iran's elite Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps as a formal terrorist organization under EU law during a tense Brussels policy session. This comes as Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has publicly declared his strategic intention to completely end all traditional US military aid flowing to Israel over the coming decade through a deliberate managed transition process. "I want to taper off the military aid within the next 10 years, Netanyahu explicitly told The Economist during an extensive policy interview laying out Israel's long-term defense independence roadmap. Under the existing 2016 Memorandum of Understanding military aid package generously provided by Washington, the State of Israel receives approximately $3.8 billion in critical foreign military financing annually to maintain its regional qualitative military edge. This comprehensive American-made arms aid package, which formally took effect back in 2018 after congressional ratification, remains scheduled to naturally expire at the end of calendar year 2028 absent any negotiated extension or modification. Netanyahu's bold declaration arrived precisely as Iran continues being catastrophically rocked by deadly and rapidly expanding nationwide protests originally sparked by seething public anger over catastrophic hyperinflation obliterating family purchasing power. However, this initial economic agitation has swiftly evolved throughout major population centers into a much broader and more existential revolutionary movement directly challenging the very legitimacy of Iran's ossified Islamic Republic regime structure. This represents the unprecedented sixth occasion throughout its turbulent modern history when the Islamic Republic has confronted significant mass popular uprisings threatening the clerical establishment's monopoly on power since seizing control violently in 1979. Each previous cycle of explosive mass disturbances throughout the Republic's lifespan ignited from identical combinations of crippling economic despair alongside deepening cultural alienation, though never before matching today's synchronized nationwide scale and ferocity. However, these current existential protests unfold at history's most dangerous moment when Tehran simultaneously wages what regime propagandists call total war against both the United States and State of Israel across multiple hybrid battlefields. Just last week during a fiery televised address, Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei explicitly claimed that CIA and Mossad foreign agents had successfully infiltrated and hijacked the protest movement while broadly blaming America and Israel for orchestrating the chaos. At the sudden outbreak of its devastating 12-day war against the Islamic Republic earlier this year, Israeli military intelligence publicly revealed it maintained operational control over more than 100 deeply embedded human and signals intelligence agents scattered throughout sensitive Iranian military and nuclear infrastructure sites. As unprecedented pressure relentlessly builds against Tehran's collapsing authority structures, The Wall Street Journal exclusively reported that President Trump will receive comprehensive classified briefings directly from U.S. military commanders regarding possible kinetic responses to Iran's escalating protester massacres. President Donald Trump has repeatedly delivered crystal-clear public threats promising overwhelming retaliation targeting Iran's top political and military leadership should security forces continue their campaign of systematic killing against peaceful demonstrators. Meanwhile, immediately after Trump's latest pointed warning shot across Iran's bow, Tehran publicly threatened through state media channels to immediately retaliate with ballistic missile barrages against both Israel and remaining U.S. regional military bases should either nation launch preemptive attacks against the embattled regime.
25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the US will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.